This is the eye test.
This is the eye test. Ring gang.
Radio. This is the eye test.
Yes. Transitioning now to the eye test portion, what we really doing. To go back on the whole thing I was saying earlier about I'm seeing more striking in MMA and UFC fights than I did 15 years ago. Because I feel like
their video games are stealing boxes.
Yes, yeah. Because hey, nobody was trying to take fucking Fernando Vargas back in 10 years ago and shit. Like, no one was trying to steal Shane Mosley for a UFC game.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing like there's more cross training, and you seeing more MMA guys getting a little better with striking, and they're striking more. Like you don't see fights be predominant or 50-50 grapple. Sometimes grappling be like or wrestling be like 30% of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before, like back in the day, like depending on who was the fighter at the moment, you're either gonna get these niggas gonna shoot out, it's gonna be a strike fest, or you're gonna have a grapple-thon. And one of those situations you would be like, yes. The other situation you'd be like, so I'm glad for the improvement because we some old niggas. We've been watching UFC and shit. Dan Severn days, Gracie, Shamrock. Seen Shamrock jump from UFC to fucking WWF.
And in hindsight, that's what actually kind of killed his MMA career. Because he wrestling.
But he was already a legend by then.
That's true. Yeah.
Shamrock book, I think the Lion's Den is called. It's a big ass book. It's real good fucking read.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
Dan Severn. Shout out to Dan Severn.
Shout out to Dan Severn, Frank Shamrock, Ken Shamrock, all the old heads, the legends in the game, the sport. You know what I'm saying? So
Crow Cop.
Huh? Oh, Crow Cop. Yeah, Crow Cop. Yeah, another one.
Crow Cop.
All of them cats. We respect, combat sports. So, and that's why we doing this one. So now that we recognize all the cross training, all the mixed martial arts is throwing more hands and strikes and getting more proficient with boxing, you're starting to see some of them take that extra step and cross the street. And no, I'm not talking about the PBC to top rank street.
Word.
I'm talking about the boxing to MMA street. I mean, to the MMA to boxing street.
Yes.
There ain't no fucking boxer going to MMA like that.
Yeah, no.
Shout out to James Tony.
Yeah, shout out to James Tony. But and one example, and you see some kickboxers like that as well, but you always saw kickboxers kind of transition into boxing.
Yes, like Holskin.
Yeah, so you see that, but as far as MMA, because the kickboxers have better footwork than mixed martial arts.
Klitschko boxing.
Yeah, exactly. So, and one of those prime examples is Cassius Collard Clay.
Oh, it's Clay Collard, but they go Cassius because
Clay Collard.
Oh God, we're not gonna fucking denigrate the good name of Ali by fucking attaching.
No, wait. We're not denigrating the Ali. We Clay. His mama named him Clay.
Yeah. Yeah, Clay is his actual first name.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not putting the Cassius in front of him. Fuck out of here.
But that's the thing. He looking like
all the Alexanders who have the great at
it. He damn sure looking like Cassius Clay on those prospects he upset.
Hell yeah.
See, and that's the thing. And the sad part is you can still see that the footwork transition is still a little awkward.
Yeah.
These MMA niggas have terrible footwork.
Yeah.
Terrible footwork.
Collard I think he did boxing before MMA.
Yeah.
Right. Boxing was his base, but his footwork was still basic at best. Like he goes up and down, like 6 o'clock, bro. It's like You know,
and that's why I don't be liking like being a boxing has spoiled me. So when I be watching MMA Fighter Strike, I'm just like, I can't like because these niggas don't believe in head movement at all. Like no type of head movement. They telegraph their punches. Like I can catch it from a mile away. Fucking footwork is terrible. So I'm not gonna get into that.
I remember I was telling LB when we were talking about it. It's like when we were watching Clay college. Like Clay understood angles when he went to set up his punches, but didn't understand angles when he went for defense because he got hit with everything. Clearly,
yeah. It's just he was able to hit the other guy more.
Yeah, exactly. And it seemed like his punches were heavier. But I'm just like, you know, how do you understand angles when you can set up your punches to throw all these weird, awkward punches, but you don't do the same thing to actually get out of the way? Because that last process Kaminsky was hitting him plenty. Yeah. And I mean, and obviously he's not the first UFC MMA fighter to have this issue, but I just found it kind of weird and unique.
I would say
there could be some reasons, but yo, PJ, what you think about that?
Well, I do know for most cases, going by the different sports I've been witnessing to, as well as like been involved with, a lot of times if somebody's good at like making the angles going forward and landing those strikes, there's a really good chance they probably don't know how to do that going backwards. So that would definitely be a case for that. So if he's on the defensive, he may not feel confident about like, can I move my head? Can I do this? Because I know one of the fears, it applies in kickboxing as well, is it's always said, the second you move your head, you're going to eat a shit. So a lot of them refuse to move their head. Even though they're not told the little intricacy of like, you can still move your head, you just got to know how much you're moving. That's about it. And they also don't realize like you can move your head and tie up the guy. The other thing too with their stances is, especially in MMA, is there's always the fear of the takedown. So their feet are always in a position where it's just like to stuff a takedown at any time. Right, the ones who decide to forego it, you'll see them in a better stance, and they're willing to take that risk. But for some, we're just like, I need to think about that takedown. Their feet are always going to be like that. And because a lot of times they're encouraged to switch stances a lot, their footwork will be all over the place because they just view their movement in an entirely different way than they have.
So let me ask you this. Oh, my bad.
And then honestly, I think another reason too, well, let's just say like some of them like at the most have basic footwork, especially if they're moving forward, is most of them don't know how to gauge distance. So that's why if they're moving forward, you know, they're getting to the race that they feel comfortable with. But like they can't just like stand there and like try to flick out. Just like, okay, you know, I got a little distance there, you know, but I might set something up. They can't do it. They have to move forward.
I think their stance also has something to do with that.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get into. I don't think a lot of them get drilled on a proper balanced boxing stance, because a proper balanced boxing stance is like the perfect stance for damn near any type of martial art or fighting situation.
Yes.
Sure.
But a lot of people think you have to be in all these other types of different stances. Like you got to go from I gotta go from one stance to do boxing, then I gotta go to another stance to do taekwondo or mixed martial arts. If it's balanced and correct, you can transition to kicks and punches and defense, offense.
With minor adjustments.
Well, I mean, I was always told that the reason why, because I was told like boxing stances don't work in MMA because the way your stances in boxing, in MMA, you're wide open for kicks to the leg, so they can just leg check you every time.
Right.
Yeah, if you're standing straight in front of the motherfucker kicking you. See, if you're boxing and you're in your proper stance, you're gonna be fucking moving lateral or to your left.
Or southpaw the other direction, if you're southpaw.
Yeah, exactly. You can't, people say that shit, but then it's like, well, yeah, well, a punch will hit you too if you stand in front of it.
The other thing too is, this is why I'm really careful when I give instructions for anything. I don't like to say things in absolutes, because then it might get stuck in the person's head to realize that if this happens, this is always the result every time. It's not always the case. It's just because sometimes is it true that yes, depending on the boxing stance, you're gonna get kicked in the leg? Yes, in a perfect world, sure. But does the guy kicking notice that? Maybe not. Maybe there's a reason why you're side on, because that same narrow stance for boxing is perfect for a side kick. So it's just like,
what's the excuse when people are in the fight? In the streets fighting, and you got a dude who's kicking and throwing knees, and you got a one nigga who's boxing and wrestling. So what's the excuse then? Is it fighting or it's a sport now? Because a lot of that grappling shit ain't gonna work in a real fight, because if your hands are free, you're gonna gouge a motherfucker eye. You're gonna bite his fucking skin.
Yeah, and if there's people like you're wide open for somebody to just jump in and fucking deck you if it's not a fair fight.
Yeah. and remember that's the environmental factor. So a lot of it is just like, it's like PJ said, it's like people are so used to dealing in absolutes, they just start repeating myths and shit that is like when people say, well, you know, you got to be born with power, but we all know that you could develop punching power.
Yeah. Other people with bricks for hands, sure, but you can still have a level of force that you can develop.
Exactly, because you don't need Mike Tyson to knock a motherfucker out. Just got to hit hard enough.
And they don't see it coming.
To a certain point, because I do believe that certain power you're kind of born with, but
Right.
Yeah, but remember we talking about Mike Tyson and Ernie Savers forming type of power. Yeah, they might be born with that. And if we looking at that as a number 10, you mean to tell me that strenuous training and focusing on technique that we can't get your punching ability to a 7.5?
No. You're right. You can get it better, but there's always a cap at the end. There's a limit.
Okay, I'll say this then. If it's a cap, but you still knocking motherfuckers out, does it matter if you hit as hard as Tyson or Savers? If you knocking everybody out?
No, you're right.
So it's like it's like people put up mental obstacles, mental blocks just to say like, well, I'll never hit as hard as this person. But like, but hold on, you've been knocking everybody out. But yeah, but
it's one of those things, like I said, like if something is taught in absolutes or somebody hears something in an absolute, then they're gonna eventually just say like it has to be this one way or otherwise it will never work. A fight in overall is too chaotic, so it's okay to be like, let's just get the bare basics started with it. So if somebody's transitioning from MMA to boxing, the first thing that would be is the stance, but the thing is it's usually glossed over because generally those aspects of training are kind of boring, so people kind of don't want to do that. But in other cases, it depends on like how much time you got with the guy and like how receptive they are to doing that. Some people might get a little like apprehensive, be like, oh, I don't, because one of the things I've dealt with a fair bunch of times is if I'm working with somebody who boxing is not like their main sport, there is sometimes their gut reaction response is, oh, I don't want to be a boxer. I said like, I'm not turning into a boxer.
Okay, then it's one of those,
want to get
I will do what you used to do and let's see if you can spar me right now. And then after I beat your fucking ass, you're going to do what I tell you to do or you're going to quit.
That's one way to look at it. But otherwise, some people are just like, maybe their strengths, like say, maybe they're really good with their kicks and they kind of don't want to lose track of it. But it's just like, we're not trying to like, make you forgo it. We're just going to have your hands complement your feet. And then just like put those little things together. And then you realize like, hey, this bare basics of boxing are adding on to what you already know. Because in the end, you're just really just giving somebody like a toolbox and you're letting them pick whatever tool they need to use, see what they kind of want to pick and be like, okay, let's see if it works for you.
Yeah, but see, the problem is, PJ, motherfuckers come into the gym with a full toolbox.
Word.
Instead of an empty toolbox. I can't put nothing in a full toolbox. So if you have a full toolbox full of damn MMA kicks and kickboxing and taekwondo and Jet Li bullshit, then you're not gonna understand boxing footwork.
Well, then you can also just sit them down and be like, do you really need this tool? Do you use it a lot? No, not really. Okay, let's put it aside for now. Let's try and replace it with this.
If I'm feeling like that day, I might.
Yeah, because
it all comes with their energy and their attitude. You can't.
Some of that is
people come with a full toolbox and you can't tell them shit.
Well, because they've already developed that toolbox and it's muscle memory, so it's hard to fucking just take that tool out. They're hoarders. They're hoarding their toolbox.
Well, you either gonna get a new fucking toolbox to fill up. That's what I tell people. Okay, that toolbox you had back then, that's cool. But you need a bigger one now for this shit that you about to learn. So
right,
but like
you say that like most niggas ain't mad stubborn, or like they've learned something so much that it's basically drilled in their head. Like okay, I've been doing this for so long, I can't just take this away.
And see, that's why combat sports is a character sport. Because it's your character is going to prevent you from learning and excelling, or fucking being stubborn and being the dumb nigga doing the other toolbox shit that's getting your ass kicked right now. That's why it's character. You got to be coachable. You got to be teachable.
Right. And like I said, man, most people, and even if they are teachable, most people are like, they think they're like, they don't want to do like the basics, like do the drills, like do the fundamentals. So at least you're able to build up on that, and then that's where you get that's where you get a lot of MMA fighters, like they come into the ring and it's just like, they're missing something, like something that they should have done like earlier.
And I think they kind of focus on their strengths instead of saying, look, build me up. Because me, if it was in a perfect world, I would have everybody learn boxing first, because boxing footwork and boxing punching can be used in any discipline. But a lot of shit don't transition into boxing as well as boxing transition into other shit.
Yep.
Boxing is a hard sport to become good at, to even become halfway good at. And
the learning curve.
That's why in MMA you got niggas that all come off the streets and basically become champ in damn 5 years, where it's like that's nothing in boxing.
Yeah, because you got guys who come off the street in boxing and start boxing and learn how to box, and they beating damn guys who got 2 gold medals.
Yes.
Cuban boxing school.
Oh Lord, I knew that's where you was going with that.
But am I lying though?
You're not.
So my suggestion for dudes who want to transition into boxing, and you're coming from a MMA background,
just be open-minded, really, to begin with.
That's number fucking 0. I'm not even gonna start at number 1. That's 0. Empty your fucking toolbox. Be open-minded.
And then not only that, the work of your fucking cardio. Like literally every MMA fighter I've seen them tired. I mean, I don't think I've seen. I'm at the best they have average stamina.
Because MMA stamina is not like boxing stamina. It's 2 different stamina.
Yeah. But the one thing I'd say that's an upside to it is
you gotta be alert for kicks. You gotta be alert for flying moves. So okay, y'all alert for everything, but y'all ain't got the cardio to be alert for this shit.
Well, in that case, it'll be like all that shit will burn you out. All that shit will burn you out, and that's why they get so fucking blown up. It's just like, oh damn, like I gotta do this, and all of a sudden they don't have the energy to do that shit no more. I mean, you can see that in Conor McGregor too. Like Conor McGregor was just like this motherfucker's like, okay, if I do this, if I do that, and he got tired. He got incredibly tired.
Yeah, but that was the natural way that fight was gonna go. He was only used to fighting that type of duration of minutes in MMA. So I think they got the maximum is like 25 minutes. Boxing is like 36 minutes maximum. And by the time he got tired in the MMA fight, that was the same time he gets tired in boxing. And then what happens? Floyd knocks him out.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I mean, we saw what was going. Floyd wasn't expending too much energy. He was letting McGregor do what he does. I feel like McGregor would have gave a better account of himself if he trained in boxing a whole nother year.
Right.
But he didn't really do that. And then, I mean,
that's the other part about it.
Yeah. It's a discipline. You're not gonna fucking, especially if you're one of these stubborn motherfuckers PJ talking about. You're not gonna learn everything in boxing in fucking 3 months.
I don't know. It takes years.
That's why I was just like, how much time do you have available with the person? That's why if your time is limited, you gotta tell them like, all right, we're gonna flat out do this. Don't whine about it. You'll see it'll work out for you. Just put faith in it.
What happens is they gloss over the footwork and they focus on all the punching. And so now you see guys who punch like Amir Khan, who their footwork is all out of whack with the upper hand.
So basically they look like Bambi, deer in fucking headlights.
In a way, in a way. And what me and PJ is saying is basically, look, be open-minded so you could understand the foundation of boxing is footwork and getting a proper stance. Because when you practice the proper stance and your balance, if your stance is looking like Ricardo Lopez, Oscar De La Hoya, shit like that, then I think you on point. Now I'm talking about like good boxing stances, like Marquez, dudes who have a traditional balanced boxing stance.
Right.
You can't tell me that doesn't go into fucking you can't transition into front kicks and shit and certain things. And remember, you're moving with boxing. You're learning to be on your toes, feet. It's a lot more to it than just. And it's like Pat said, you gotta do these boxing drills, man.
Yeah, and like I said, most people just don't. I think, like I said, they're too cool for the drills or to do anything. Like, okay, no, I don't need to do all that. You know, I just want to be able to punch a little harder. I just want to, you know, get a little bit more variety in my punching, and that's pretty much about it. And for the most part, like the MMA fighters, like for them actually being able to punch, I mean, it's not big like we were just watching on Top Rank with Dante Stubbs, LB. Yeah, like the dude could punch a ton.
Yeah, he can hit hard.
Yeah, he hit hard, but drill wise, he wasn't anything impressive. Like when we first saw him, he took his L to a guy that took an L at, you know, was fighting again after like 9 days, you know, and got
less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. However, no, Dante to his credit though, he fought again like it was like 2 weeks after that, and he won because he learned quick, and that's basically, so it's like he understood that he had a lot to learn, like because he realized he had to open that toolbox, and like, you know, I can't half-ass this boxing. I got to do this.
Yeah,
you know?
because these guys they use a little smaller gloves, and when they learn that they can hit or throw certain overhand punches in MMA, they want to take that over to boxing, and they look, okay, I can enhance my striking, like on some McDonough, you know, Robert Garcia shit. Right there. Okay.
Oh Lord.
I got my little battery pack for my jab now. Okay.
Knew that was coming.
So they try to do that. but
Gonna make a man upgrade.
if you seriously about fucking transitioning from MMA to boxing, I feel like you need to spend 2 weeks on nothing but footwork.
Right.
Like hardcore footwork, little pivot drills, pouring a little water bottle into a circle, and you learn to move back and forth, in and out, get the angles, and the reason why you got to do this back and forth, in and out, and all, because when you're learning these angles, when you learn the footwork and the angles, you learn what punches to throw when you start throwing punches.
Right.
These motherfuckers, they learn it the opposite way. They learn to throw the punches, and then they trying to learn where they should stand afterwards. But you see, that's how they be looking.
I mean, shit, a lot of times they be hella off balance, especially like when I be watching the MMA strikers, and when they throw a punch, right afterwards, I'm like, these niggas' balance is kind of off.
Yeah.
And they always, but they gotta be alert for this, that. Meanwhile, they getting hit with fucking regular punches. So it's like, you can't have it both ways. You gotta just say, fuck it. You know what? I'm in a new sport. Empty my toolbox. Let me hear what this person got to say, and let me level up my footwork first. Get a balanced stance, because once you start finding out when your stance is correct, you can move. You see those kicks. A lot of times, people be off balance with these fucking kicks. If you go with the kick, if you go with the trajectory of the kick, you end up clocking them upside their head when they're trying to spin around.
Yeah. The other thing too, when it comes to doing the drills and focusing on the footwork, is because at the beginning you will be stiff as hell because it's an awkward motion. You're trying to get those stiff tendencies out of your system as soon as possible. Once you do that, you'll realize, okay, I now got the basics of moving around with it. It's no different than walking. Then you'll realize the footwork is easier. The footwork is lighter because you're no longer thinking left foot, right foot, where? Left foot at this angle, right foot at this angle, where? And they both go in separate directions for no good reason.
It's like what he's saying is, a lot of dudes not practicing footwork until they're comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
They not, and I'm talking about comfortable, real comfortable like you crashing on a nigga couch, you know what I'm saying? And you told him a month, but you there 3 months. Like, we want you to be comfortable like that. When it comes to footwork.
Because the sooner you get comfortable with your footwork, it becomes really easy to transition the other punches. You understand weight transfer you understand weight transfer better, and then you start to realize, oh, one of the reasons why I might have been caught with a kick was my foot was too heavy for no good reason. Now it's a bit even. I can now move it at a moment's notice or check the kick.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the main thing. It's like footwork and then the punches. But the footwork is so important. I would say the footwork and then the jab right after that. The jab would be number 2.
Yeah.
And if you're really lucky, you get yourself a battery pack.
You get that DLC content.
Exactly.
So
don't have a Malinaji jab, have a better jab.
Yeah.
But then with that, all that being said, like in terms of like what MMA fighters need to do, it's still a head scratcher how Clay Collard. I mean, he has the base in boxing, but how he's actually literally beating the shit out of all these prospects. He shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, like the fights are competitive, but he's literally beating the shit out of them. Like,
yeah,
he made that one prospect look like Aldo. And shout outs to Aldo. Aldo wasn't in his prime. This kid is in his prime. He's like 19, 20. It may not be physical prime, but come on, like,
yeah, you know,
I think we all were better off at 19, 20.
Right, and that was a Top Break. As Top Break was already putting the machine behind his name, you know, due to a certain connection I won't really go into, but if you know, a Zion connection, if you will, but you know, man.
I mean, the Lauryn Hill song. You know?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And then,
I don't know why for a split second I was just like, he's got to connect with the Pelicans. I was like, wait, wrong sport.
But it was just wild to me. It's like, man, these prospects, I mean, these are school prospects. I mean, but there's no way that this guy should be moving forward and he's being the shadow like he's doing. He shouldn't be doing that. He's done that 3 times this year.
I think they need to brush up on the same shit we complaining about with the MMA cats. Footwork, defense, and jab. And honestly, when you break down footwork, defense, and the jab, that's ring generalship. That's boxing in its purest form. You're supposed to be able to beat people on your level or lesser, maybe even above, with a jab, footwork, and defense.
Word.
Because when you put all together, that's timing. Like, another thing I think they got to get used to is the smaller ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's I think that's a major factor. Like, you know how like great white sharks, they can't be held in captivity, or at least not for that long. There's something with I think it's the magnetic sensors in the snout or some shit, where they start going on the track, trying swimming, like they start bumping in this shit. So you could never keep a great white in captivity.
Maybe like killer whales too. Well, killer whales will do it. Except killer whales know what they're actually doing. Well, sharks are not smart. Whales are. They do the same shit.
I mean, they smart enough, but you could use. I mean, look, nigga, I seen Shamu down here, bro. I've been to that. I mean, I ain't never seen jaws at these motherfuckers. You know what I mean, you'll see all types of. You'll see different sharks. I think you'll see some hammerheads and shit, but you don't see the great whites because they tried it. You can research it. It's been done. I think one stayed in captivity for maybe 3 weeks or some shit, but it don't happen. They used to that big ocean terrain. So you try to put that into a fucking damn little tank for little Billy amusement.
Right.
It shit just don't work. And but the thing is, a shark can adjust like a human can. You a human, you gotta adjust. So if you used to the big ass octagon and getting Chuck Norris on and shit, you gotta, hey, let me tone this down, bring this shit to 21 feet, 23 feet square, because you still moving in a circle, fighting in circles. So that's an adjustment you have to make too. So yeah, getting used to the smaller fighting space, and the footwork is learning the footwork is gonna help you get used to that. punching ain't gonna make you fucking help it. You get used to that shit. A punch is a punch and wherever you go. A punch is in the same in the elevator, bathroom, parking lot, Denny's, Waffle House, Walmart. Punch is always the same, but footwork is different in the elevator. Footwork is different in a damn dog racetrack in Miami. You know what I mean? Like footwork is different in different locations, man. So you gotta adapt. But you're not gonna fucking adapt to the locations until you learn fucking footwork.
Okay, so, just real quick here. I just watched one of Clay Collard's fights. I think one of the reasons also where he's like handling some of these prospects is he technically is more experienced than them in terms of a fight. So he's more willing to take risks.
Yeah, he comes forward a lot.
Yeah, he's more willing to just try shit. Because he's just like, well...
That could be disrupted with a jab, though.
Yeah.
That's the fault of the prospect.
Yeah.
That's not Colin's problem. That is not Colin's problem.
Yeah, I know. I'm just pointing it out, to be honest, Colin's not doing something that's out of the ordinary or extra special.
He just took boxing lessons.
Yeah, there you go.
He literally just took boxing.
And I don't even think he took the best boxing lesson because his footwork is still trash defensively.
Well,
It's
technically,
boxing lessons that didn't have.
But
a
he got
focus on-
angles though.
Yep.
well, I mean, technically, he is doing something a little different because he's bouncing up and down these divisions doing it. Like he's fighting from welter to light heavyweight.
Yeah.
That which is damaging in itself. Like he shouldn't be doing that either, and he's winning these fights.
No one's jabbing him. No one's going to the body consistently. Like, everybody's head hunting. They wait for him to run off his damn 1-2-1 combinations and push him back. I mean, I don't know. I think we in a generation where people will scroll through their fucking phone on Instagram before they'll scroll through YouTube and watch some fucking fights.
Yes.
So it's like you got the knowledge. Everything's there. The database is there. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand how hard it is back in the day. When I missed the boxing match, you didn't have motherfuckers saying, all right, we're going to replay this 25 times throughout the week like they do now.
Word.
There's certain fights I missed back in the day that I've never seen again. That I've never seen. Like, I remember fucking, I think it took me a year to finally see Gotti, Dorin, I think, Centron Reed. I was going through some shit during that time and I couldn't see boxing, so I had to order the tapes from a Connect in Cali.
Yep.
Damn.
Got all them shit. Like, people don't understand that you had to literally do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, go online. So when there's a good boxing match overseas, you had to damn get some bullshit stream, learn another language to fucking talk to motherfuckers so they can send
Shout
you.
out, yep, shout out to Real Player for that. Real Player.
Yeah, Real Player. Yeah, exactly. Like, shit, fucking the C Chop Junior Witter, like fights like that. Like, like, damn, it's a weird fucking fight. But no, you a boxing fan, you gonna try to see all that shit.
Word.
So that's all I'm saying. It's like use your tool. Like that's the thing. It's like y'all come into the gym with a fucking full toolbox saying, I don't want to do your bullshit footwork. And then you say, okay, yeah, we'll just fast track you with the punches. And then we say, all right, we'll go home and watch some boxing. Nigga, fuck all that.
Like that.
I get these hoes on Instagram. I'm trying to do my TikTok video. So I mean, what else can we say?
Put boxing lessons on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do that shit.
God no.
I mean, you gotta put boxing in the way these motherfuckers understand and recognize it. Like, okay, I'll practice now. Like, shit. It'd be like Don't Be a Menace. But you just gonna be starting popping up in different outfits saying message. You dress up as Costamado one day, then you dress up as damn Eddie Fudge. Walking down like Angelo Dundee with the glasses. I don't know what else we gotta do. Like,
in the end, also, it's just what gym are they going to and how is the coach approaching them. Every coach is different.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's the other thing. Every coach is different, so you're gonna learn something. I don't know. It becomes a too many cooks situation sometimes.
Yeah, and also the other thing too is the coach will even try to give you time. Because some coaches will be like, all right, okay, here you go, get the fuck out of here.
It's a tough situation, bro. I mean, I've been in gyms, I've seen coaches be on that bullshit and not really try to fuck with you. And there's that one coach that comes in there late and he's on some Grizzly Adams shit that no other coaches fuck with him. He gives you the time of day, so you listen to him. There's so many different shit, but
Come here, Papa. Let me talk to you, man.
you know, they be stealing fighters like a motherfucker down here. Goddamn, nigga, I stole in my damn self. Yeah, you know. Hey, man, you got some good footwork. So you want to train with him? I'll get you 2 amateur fights in about 3 months. Like, word? Yeah, man.
The funny thing is, I think there's some people who have been worried that I'll steal their fighters, but I'm like, dude, I don't even have my own gym. What are you talking about?
Right?
I'm just like, I'm just coaching people who just ask. I don't want to steal them. I always tell them, go talk to your coach first.
Because we righteous, we try to impart the knowledge. But it comes down to how bad do you want to learn. Because the information's out there. Sometimes it's not going to be easy. Sometimes you're going to go through a bunch of dickhead coaches. It's like, just like with anything, you know, it's how bad you want it. You're going to go through, you're not going to damn get the first motherfucker you want. Like, you might have to go through other people. You're not going to get your first job ain't going to be your best job unless you working for your father's company and he rich or some shit.
Yeah.
But even then, like, you don't know, but once you have the access to this shit, how bad you want it, learn. You got so many tutorials online, you got YouTube, you got so much shit that you didn't have now. Back in the day, you had to order boxing tapes and shit to learn boxing.
Oh yeah, another side
away
note.
for free.
Yeah, the information's out there. Even the fighter we were talking about, Clay Collard, you can find some of his fights on YouTube. I'm watching another fight which is a bit more recent. You can see the improvement, but you can still see there's some odd habits here and there. He steps in a little too much sometimes, ends up walking into shots when he doesn't mean to. Yeah, and then sometimes when he could angle out, he doesn't, so he gets clipped by accident.
Yeah.
But man, once that 1-2-1 gets going, that thing is a nightmare to shake off.
And that's what it is. A lot of times it ain't even about practicing. It's knowing how your opponent is going to react. So you watch tapes of it. If there's footage of him, why not? You going to trust your coach doing that? You going to trust your cutman doing that? They not in the ring?
Yeah. He is at least a decent example of how to spam 1-2-1. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like, come on. So, I mean,
You gotta do your own homework. In the end, as a fighter, or even as a trainer, or whatever, if you're in the combat sports, you do your homework. Do your homework. You can't always just be like, oh, I'll do it at the gym, I'll do it at the gym. You know, what happened just now, the pandemic, gyms are closed. What do? Do your homework.
Because at least the knowledge, what that shit back in the day with G.I. Joe cartoon. Now I know. No one's half the battle.
Knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe.
If you know what they're capable of and what they do and their tendency, that puts you in the game.
I mean, even the top niggas not even fucking watching footage, unfortunately.
And you see the top niggas ain't as good as the top niggas 20, 30 years ago. So, I mean, look at Wilder. He's another guy who's like, I don't be watching tape. I don't need to do. Yeah, now look what happened.
Those.
Yeah, it shows. I hate when people say shit like that. Man, I don't be reading at all. But yeah, nigga, it shows when the teacher call on you and you be. Yeah, it shows. It don't be fucking stupid shit like that. Like, I don't need to practice it back. Yeah, it shows. When you drop it every time you throw it, the motherfucker counter you. Oh, I don't need to watch defense. It shows. Because every time you back up in a straight line, you hit the fucking punches. I still don't play this guy. So it's like, yeah, like, bruh. So, I mean, I don't know what's this thing. It's not a black thing. I've seen so many different types of fighters do this shit. It's like they proud of ignorance.
Yeah.
I don't need to load this gun. I could just scare him with the empty one. Like, nigga, what's the like, that's the stupid shit I be hearing, man. Like, but yeah, man, it's like I don't even ain't much really else to say. I don't think I can outdo that one. I'm good.
Hopefully, maybe just like how MMA evolved, you see MMA fighters in boxing evolve, that they actually understand that maybe in about 10 years or so, you'll actually find someone, you may actually get one that actually becomes a world champion, a legitimate world champion, that is,
I could see it happening in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I could see that in like 5 years, perhaps, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Because remember, matchmaking is such a big part in boxing. A lot of these guys don't have to. I mean, why do you think of a person like Wilder, someone who has a bronze medal, 10 heavyweight champion defenses, and he gets away with not doing a lot of shit that we want guys to do? Matchmaking.
Yeah.
So when you have a crutch like that, people, you create your own monsters.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
No.
Not in an inner way.
Oh my god.
More like real monsters, Nickelodeon.
Be with the dude with holding his eyes the entire time.
A bunch of Icases running around and crumbs.
Yeah. Looking like the umbrella monster.
Oh my god.
Sandman snatch your ass out the ring.
Actually, a really good example of somebody, he didn't transition to boxing, but you could tell he was working on his boxing, was Daniel Cormier. Even though he's in his 40s, you could tell he's very open to learn. Because when he was fighting Stipe, that second fight, like, he should have not been boxing him up like that. Because Stipe is the one who actually had a boxing background. If it wasn't for that liver shot, Cormier would have been out jabbing and out like right crossing a guy who's like a foot taller.
But then Cormier, of course, has a gas tank problem, so that's part of that. I mean, his boxing will improve, but his gas tank hasn't.
Some things will never change.
So yeah, some things will never change, but see how the boxing ability kind of levels the playing field.
Yeah,
I mean, learning how to box ain't gonna damn fix everything. Like shit.
I mean, when you fought,
I learned how to box and now I could do my taxes. Like no, it don't work.
Yeah, I wish I could box my taxes.
Yeah, I want to box my taxes too.
Man, I wish too. No, I want to box my tax man. He's not been a good boy lately.
Oh, man, I want to body my tax man. Yeah, I feel you on some good love shit. Good boy.
He's not been a good boy.
I want to throw one of those little chicken wing downward left hooks.
Oh man.
God damn it, give me more money. Bastard. God damn it. Answer my phone call. So it's like, so yeah, man, like, I mean, I feel you. Any of y'all got any closing thoughts?
I think I already said mine. I'm doing my closing thoughts.
I use mine pretty much halfway through this, so I'm good too.
Yes, I'm just very happy to be here.
King P?
Ilri.
I mean,
say it with your chest.
Yeah, okay, I will. This is box. We do real box. Yes, real box. So learn to punch and better footwork, and not no back foot boxing ass footwork, but.
You don't have to do some back foot boxing if your ass front foot boxing if you know how to do that.
If you're good on one side, you may as well work on the other.
Yeah, like I mean, we shit on that back foot boxing, but yeah, you watch any training video or any shit you see on the ring gang, I'm back foot boxing my ass off. So
yeah, but like LB said, character is important. Yeah. So don't be a know-it-all. Don't come in being a know-it-all and saying your training techniques and methods suck. Okay, the fuck is you in there for?
That is some New York energy right there.
You have to learn how to slip a punch automatically if you were saying some foul shit.
Listen here, young blood.
Man, why I gotta be doing all these footwork? Oh shit!
You know what?
Jab 1,000. Okay, damn, I got you.
Some parts of the world, they still do that.
Yep. The parts of the world that motherfuckers take boxing serious. See, I guess me and Pat, we too old. We are old school.
It's kind of funny that.
I know how that feels because my fucking old school Jamaican coach be like that. If I don't do something and I'm stubborn and I'm on the pads, he'll throw a left hook with the pads. I'm like, oh shit! Now I'm blocking punches from him with the pads. That's my.
You got to, because they be keeping. I done done that to Rome a few times. Like, pay a fucking attention. Fired a blood clot jab.
Funny part is like when I catch people, I don't even like add power to it. It's just sudden for them. They're like, "What the fuck was that?" I was like, "It was your hand being low." That's what it was.
That's how I do it. I ain't trying to hurt you, slap the shit out of you. I'm just trying to like look, you know, be alert with your boxing teaching you how to be.
Word.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, I also wanted just to say it was kind of funny because LB said in his videos you see him back foot boxing, and videos of me you see me front foot boxing.
Well, that's the thing that's the beauty of it, man. Like we both could do the same thing. It's just I feel like PJ better front foot, or more natural front foot. He be lighting niggas up front foot, like real talk. I know I'm probably more comfortable back foot, but I like getting in at niggas too. So you gotta be, if you really truly want to learn boxing, you gotta learn the opposite and the full extent of everything. Meaning it's like a gun. You master shooting with one hand, with your dominant hand, your right hand. You better learn to practice with your left too.
Word.
If you learn how to box on your back foot, learn how to box on the front foot. So just empty your tool, learn the whole game, man. That's why you see Floyd Mayweather is so adaptable. Like he can do everything. Certain shit he excel at, certain shit he just real good at. So I ain't saying you're gonna be like Floyd.
Yeah, his toolbox is a Hummer, so he has like a whole bunch of space.
Yeah.
He got one of those Red Cross toolboxes, like
Exactly.
they got different layers and shit, but
Diamond encrusted.
but that's how you gotta be, man. Like that's how you gotta be if you really wanna stake your claim in this game, yo, with this boxing shit, man.
Earn your money, team
appreciating all styles.
Exactly.
Word.
If you practice just post up game and shit, you know, you ain't gonna appreciate no damn if you just practice being on some power Shaquille O'Neal shit, you're not gonna appreciate some finesse Lou Alcindor, Hakeem Olajuwon shit.
True word.
So that's all we saying. Like, you know, for every one person that's like, well, you know, Trinidad is one-dimensional, yeah, shut the fuck up. It just, that one dimension is so effective. What else did he have?
He literally pulled you into that dimension.
And that's the thing. That's what's called doubling down on your strength. But we'll get into that later. But this the eye test, you know, signing off. Make sure y'all just stay tuned. We got a Forgotten Fate article on its way. Probably post it up tomorrow or Tuesday. You know, let y'all niggas wait for that shit because it's gonna be fire. The Ring Gang Radio cartoon is almost ready. Y'all probably gonna get it this week. I know y'all tired of hearing that shit, but fuck it, y'all gonna get that shit. It's gonna be fire. I love that shit. But yeah, that's definitely two things y'all got to look out for. I don't even know how to close this shit out. I ain't no Pat. I ain't used to that shit. Like, oh my god, we do an eye test in so long. But
yeah, I know.
Signing
All
off.
I can say is shout out to my hip hop African Americans. If you recognize that reference, good on you.
But yeah, eye test, you know, Ring Gang for life, Ring Gang Radio forever, ringgangradio.com. Make sure y'all hit up the website. Y'all fuck with what we're doing. Y'all can hit that donate button. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little love. Y'all UFC fans, show us a little love because we talked about y'all shit.
Yeah, just don't make us DLC in your next game.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, don't be asking for PJ or King P or any of us to be in the damn next UFC. So with that said, we out.